Hi guys, this is Tinro. Welcome to KSP Science Exploration Adventure episode 13. Today we're going to be sending a few craft to Niven. And since the duration to get there is more than 126 days, we'll also be doing some other things on the side. Alright, with all the funds that I got from landing on SETI and setting up those experiments, I've improved my life support tech because I want to go to Niven, and the stock tanks that I have right now for supplies are pretty weak. I wanted to get the 2.5 meter ones, so that's also under life support tech. With advanced life support tech, it also got some recycling machines that increases the duration, reduces the amount of supplies used. Specialized control, so I can have better RCS, heavier rockets, invention for more experience, advanced unmans for a new probe core that I can do prograde or retrograde assist without needing a pilot. Better batteries, better adapters, so I can work on getting better landing legs and better rockets. Here you can see I've got Kerbal alarm clock open, and there's these here, Gale to Niven in 48 days, and Gale to Niven in 77 days. I'm going to end up sending my probe at this launch window, and my people in this launch window, because the difference between when this window is available and the one after it is about 2 years, and I don't want to wait 2 years to send my Kerbals. So I'm just going to send them at the tail end of what I'm able to do. You can also see there's a return trip from Niven to Gale. Let's take a look at transfer window planner for those of you who aren't familiar with it. You can enter where you want to start. So I'm going to start at Gale, and I'm going to go to Niven. And let's say that I start at 80,000 meters, and for Niven, because my first one's going to be the probe, about 500,000 meters. You can plot it, and it'll give you a little calculation on time is across the bottom for when you're going to depart, and the number of days is the y-axis. So you can see that this is going to take a certain amount here. The blue delta V over here is lower, and then as it gets towards red, it increases. So like I could go to Niven if I wanted to spend 22.7 K delta V to get there at this time, or I could spend 1700 delta V if I would go in at this time. So I'm going to be launching my probe on the upper end here, and my Kerbals at the lower end down here. So I'll just let these upgrades finish and build my rockets. So here's my lander. This isn't the one I'm going to be launching, but I want to show it to you first because, as you can see, it's quite a large rocket to get my Kerbals everything they need to land and then get off of the surface. I'm going to be using 3 engines. I've got a lot of fuel stacked in here because there's only so much space that I can fit in the 2.5 meter couplings. But I'm going to be doing something interesting. You can see I've got my life support here radially around a life support thing, parachutes, all of that, but it's detachable. I'm going to detach this and send it back separately with my Kerbals. That'll make more sense if I show you my other craft. So here's the rocket that I'm using to send my probe, and probes, as you might imagine, are very tiny. In fact, just above this separator here, this is my probe. So because that'd be really simple to send, I wouldn't need a lot of fuel, I decided to add a return vessel. So there's enough fuel in this middle stage to return back to Gale from Niven, carrying my Kerbals with the science that they're bringing, and I'll attach the solar panels and the science experiment thing and all those other things from the old vessel. And another reason that I'm doing it this way is because there's only a certain number of days, it's like 100 and some odd days, that you get habitation from the hitchhiker storage container. So I'll be using one to get there and a separate one on the way home. And so that's what I plan to do anyway. So let's get this one launched. Okay guys, here in the build list you can see I have Niven Lander Mark 1 on the primary track, taking 19 days, and Niven Probe and Return Mark 4 on the secondary track is going to take 49 days. When the lander is finished, the probe in return will move up to the other track and it will be a lot faster. This is the first time I've made use of Kerbal Construction Time's parallel build. Also, you can see Mark 4 and Mark 2. Usually I just build a ship. It needs a few tweaks, I tweak it, and I keep it Mark 1. These have required different partial rebuilds, I guess. So I've been upping them to different marks. The trip to Niven's a little complicated. And I made some miscalculations. I assumed the trip back would be comparable to the time there. But if you look at the time there, we can see travel 134 days. For the return trip, travel 261 days, so it's almost twice as long. My life support habitation wasn't going to support that, so I had to add something else, which made something else heavier, which made everything off. So I had to rebuild from scratch from part of that stage. I don't need habitation. I don't need life support at all. It doesn't kill my Kerbals, but I was going for it, so I wanted to make it work. So I'm just going to zip through these, and it looks like before these are going to be finished, I'm also going to be adjusting one of my probes for my Gale network. Okay, this is at my periapsis, and I just want to change it so my apoapsis matches the orbit for Gale, which is 13911. 13918. So I want to bring that back just a little. Okay, 1391116. This is 13917. So that's close enough. Now I just want to add an alarm for the apoapsis here so I can then push it out and stabilize this orbit so it's circular. Okay, so you can see that the probe in return has gone down to 11 days. It used to be 50 and change. So that's a lot better for that because we need to launch it in 57 days. We don't want to launch it early because of life support considerations, so we'll roll out the Niven lander, which we are going to launch in 27 days. And I think there's some buildings that we can upgrade. Fully upgraded. Almost $1 million for the vehicle assembly. Since I have paid for these already, I don't need the funds. So I'll start upgrading this. Research and development, 1.69 million. Wow. I should be getting a lot of science eventually, so I'll do that. So I can possibly get some really big science fully upgraded. Administration, just 3 strategies. I'll do that. So I'm only around $1 million. If I have to build a really big vessel, it won't be so bad because after I launch these, I'll recover some stages and get some funds. Let's look at the admin actually. Now I was thinking about this, and I can't do Niven probes and the Niven program at the same time. I'm not actually landing on Niven with my probe, so I'm gonna have to lose this contract. I'll never be able to do it because I'm landing. So I'm gonna choose the Niven program where I have to plant a flag. And since there's no reason to wait to launch my probe, I'm just gonna launch it now. So I accidentally prioritized the wrong ship and rolled out my lander first. I've got 14 days until I should be shifting away from Gale to head to Niven with my probe, so I'm going to launch it now. Except for it's dark out, so you can't see anything. So I'm going to start with a lot of thrust from my solid as well as my liquid fuel. And now that I've got going, I'm going to throttle my liquid fuel down so I can save it for later and rely more on the solid rocket boosters. Looks like that's the purple one. So I think I just figured out what I need to do based off of this purple line. without actually looking. And I think that works out. About 327 meters a second delta V, that's what the rest of this tank was for. Unfortunately, as you can see, I don't have much in the way of reaction wheels on this whole lower 75% of the rocket. So T node in T plus 1. So I'll have to add a +1 orbit. Now this isn't going to be an exact, but it's a rough measure of what you'll need. It tells you about the time. It tells you the phase angle that you need, so you know where on the orbital path you're going to want to move the actual maneuver node, as well as the amount of prograde and normal that you're going to want. That's generally all that you really need. So 992 on the prograde, 992, negative 180 on the normal, 0.6. So this should be close to what I need. And then it's going to be a matter of me shifting this and then actually tweaking these until I see an encounter. Let me go back to the map view, take a look and see where this is putting us. So this actually puts us nowhere near Niven from this area. And that's because of the angle at which I start, based off of where this is, my node. So the angle that I want is ejection angle 163.89 to retrograde. So right now it's 20.4. So it's just me determining whether I want to shift time further forward or backwards to make that. And there we go, there's our encounter. It'll give us a periapsis of 15 million. And I'm not really too worried about the periapsis. I'm more worried about the orbit and having to slow down. Because this is estimating that my insertion delta V is only going to be 686. So I can reconfigure this large antenna to be either a direct or a relay. And I'll extend it out and have it as a direct now, so that my signal strength is now ready to go. 3 more days before my actual burn. 8 minutes of burn time, that's a while. So I don't have an encounter. Why is that? It's because 8 minutes is a long time to burn. So that's basically 4 minutes before and after. And all the calculations are based off of the assumption that it's instantaneous. So you saw that my maneuver node was moving around. That was me trying to compensate. But there's only so much you can do. So it'll be easy to fix that. So in 15 minutes, I'll just do this small burn to re-engage my encounter. So 1 day and 5 hours. I'm going to launch now because it's sunny. And I'll just, it's 1 day's worth of food. I'm not worried about it. So I'm going to launch this and fill it with Kerbals. No solid boosters here, as you can see. This is a little more compact than the last vessel, but Okay, and then while this is suborbital, yeah, like 160 left. Jettison that. Alright. So you can see this has all sorts of these radial fuel tanks stuck all over it. It's not easy to fit a lot of fuel in the 2.5 meter stage in such a way that you can jettison them, because you can't stick the 2.5 meter tanks on the sides because they won't fit on other 2.5 meter tanks in the fairing sizes that I have. So I'll extend these panels. Now I can just focus on this map and make this purple one flat. That was even easier the second time. Okay, there's that. Now, reconditioning, I don't care about that alarm. So I have a day. Let me plot this. Add a maneuver. One 18216. One 18216 Okay, 18216 148. Prograde 1042.7. Oops. Oh, wait. 1042.7. 1042.7, 184.2. Negative ejection angle 197.2 retrograde. I'm not sure. Oh, it's because of an encounter with Iota. It looks like Iota is going to mess with my burn. That is such bad luck. That gets me over 1 million away, but that's fine. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Alright, where are these antennas? Extend antenna. Extend antenna. 100%. And it's got an encounter, so it wasn't off by much. Because this engine is burning a lot faster. See, it only took me 2 minutes instead of 8 minutes. Let's turn these on. Take a look at this. Habitation a day. I thought it was 7 days by default. Travel time 134 days. Let's see how much it bumps it up. Hitchhiker container, start habitat. 159 days, so more than enough. So my Kerbals are ready for the long haul. I've got life support set up so that I've got more than enough food and habitation. I'm arranging an encounter. My probe is on the way. It's going to get there before me so I can scan the planet and decide where I want to land based off of that, and then try to hit that target. Alright, both of those vessels are on the way to Niven, so let's take care of some minor things, I guess. I've also researched Talumo, and I can go to Talumo in year 3, day 243, so that's something where I can go in 247 days. I'll keep track of it, put it in my Kerbal alarm clock so I know about it. But I should also probably find some other planets. I have a satellite out here that's kind of distant. Let's turn off this life support. But I have a connection to it. I guess I should go to the tracking station for that, but it's probably this one, Space Telescope. Switch to it. Now let's see what else I can find with this. I'll turn off the alarm clock. Let's go one in and one out. So I've got Niven. Looks like the next one would be this purple one. So I'll set that as my target. And apparently my reaction wheels are slow on this. I'll spin around my nav ball so I can point at it. Not quite on the opposite side of the sun. So we'll find out what this planet is. My strength is 10% because I'm pretty far away. Let me turn on my satellite network. Vessel links, network. So the reason this is red, even though I'm closer than this green one, is because I'm using an old, slow antenna. Because I sent this out a while ago. I'm sending my vessel to Niven with 2 to 4 of these because they work in tandem to increase the signal strength. But looks like I'm slightly offset from the radial in for this actual planet. And the sun is that way, so there's no way I'm gonna see anything. Maybe it's Thalia or Gratian. Let's find out. Telescope says research bodies, track bodies. Oh look, oh wait, that's a rogue pixel. The screen is dying. Whole lot of color. A white light begins to change direction and move the opposite way, toward a peach-colored one. It must be a real gem of a moon. Hello, Geminus. Looks like we found a giant peach, said James B. Kerman. So that'd be a gas giant and Geminus. Okay. Let's just try this a bunch. Oh, a twinkling glimmer emerges from behind the big scary red glimmer. Etta, the fairest moon of all, graces the archives. Holy wet in the kraken, it's horrible, it's terrifying. The observatory team evacuates. Thalia wrinkles in satisfaction. So I guess that's probably a gas giant with, it sounds like 3 moons at least. No. And that's probably all that's over there. And then Talumo looks like going out would just be this blue one. So I'll target that. Oh, I was looking at Gale as my point of reference. I was like, those don't line up. It looks like I might have looked at both of those then because they have almost the same trajectory. Let's go back to the Space Center and see what's going on. Okay, Thalia. Research. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Eta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Niven I know, Gale I know, Iota, Gratian. Geminus. Clumo and Lily. Okay, let's go see what those are. Oh, so the big one is Talia. Talia has Moon Ita. Okay, this is 0.3 gravity, so it's lighter than Niven with no atmosphere. And then this Moon Ita. Very low gravity. Oh, wow. Half of it is very different. Or maybe it looks kind of like a baseball. The overlapping alternate U cup shapes. Interesting. And then the other planets we got were outside. Gratian, which should be a gas giant because it said giant peach. Or not. Maybe it's just a big orange thing. With ice caps. Geminis. It's an interesting terrain. I think that was all. Alright, now that I'm here, let's go check out the SCP Central Station. I think we can fly it. Alright, it's getting into the evening over here. It's kind of a nice view. Those rock shapes look almost... It's like some kind of sign pointing a direction, but it's not. It's pyramids. Let's take a look at these experiments. I think I saw when I was editing a video for this that I could perform a laser scan on this retro reflector, but maybe I have to do that as a Kerbal. That makes sense, I guess. Let me open up this control panel. Okay, SCP. 4 experiments. Laser range finding data. I guess maybe I have to auto-transmit this. Auto-transmit is on. Science. I'm up to 260 science, so I was at like 37, I think. It'd be nice if I had a log of what that happened, though. Okay, this is the one that I damaged. And I'm at my apoapsis, so I want to increase my periapsis to match Gale. Gale being about 13,9117. So 13,918. So I only need to decrease my speed by a little. Whoa, this thing is super agile. So I'll do the same thing I did just a second ago, and I'll decrease the thrust on this so I can be more precise. 13,918. 13,915. Okay, 13,911.7. close enough. Several numbers. Okay, this is the one that's full of fuel because it's further out. Oh, my apoapsis is 13911. Time to apoapsis 9 minutes. Add maneuver, make it my apoapsis. This is my final circularization. So I've got to extend my periapsis out. So that's going to take about, let me be a little bit more particular about this. It's hard to read with all those asteroids. $13,917. $13,917.6. Okay, that's good. Estimated burn 81 seconds. And I'm going to add an alarm for when my sphere of influence changes so that when I enter Niven's sphere of influence, I get kicked over there. And now I shouldn't be too far from probe and return. And probe and return is on the inside, so it should be getting there faster. It launched several days before, even though it looks closer. Add sphere of influence. Wow. I think I launched like 18 days apart. The difference from when we'll be entering the sphere of influence of Niven is only about 2 days. Oh, the Niven lander is going to get to Niven first. Interesting. That's pretty much all that we've got time for this episode, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.